Good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Good morning, can you hear me?
Good morning, can you hear you?
So, interesting. So, we've been learning a lot over the past week. Sorry, on Tuesday we started learning about phones, and yes. So today we'll actually move from there. There's this. You can see my screen. There's something I have on here. This is a form. Like I said, forms are usually for getting a user in. So I try to bring us to know that as developers, we should actually know that when you're building a website, you should actually have in mind that users are actually going to use your website. It's not for your own use. You don't just say, "Oh, I have a lovely website, so I'll just keep it for my own consumption, my own use and all." So it's important to know that users will actually have to use whatever we create. Yes, we'll actually start out with test projects, things that will help us to get to that point where we can create things that are marketed that people can actually use. So on my screen here, we have a free KodeCamp survey form. So last week we started looking at, on Tuesday we started looking at form. Baseline, yeah. So on Tuesday we started looking at forms, and we didn't really go deep into it. So today we will actually build out a form to see what is involved, how do you go about it, and everything necessary. So if there's ample time, we'll also jump into CSS in bit of it so that we'll actually give you the styling required. So let's just follow. So I'm actually going to do a lot of things from scratch because hearing responses today and it seems like many people are backwards and all. So I'm just going to have that assumption that maybe we don't know how to do some things. Then I'm going to demonstrate it. So I'll just do everything from the beginning. Let's just follow. So I still see my screen.
Yes, I see it.
All right. Yeah. Basically, just generate form. So I'm going to open this. So let me just open this. Just go there. So I'm actually going to drag this into this place. All right. Okay, so we're here now. So click on camp form. So I'm going to create my folders. Emails. Use that this. So then I just need image folder. All right, so this is the basic thing. So I'm going to start out, either use an exclamation and press enter. So I'm going to keep this side by side. All right. So this is what we have built, and this is our page. All right. So first things first, so we need to give the title. So we've done that. The next thing that we need to do is to start out this whole stuff. So what I would like to do is, this is the body. The body is what's starting out here. I'll start out with a section. The whole of this is assuming this whole view is a section. So a section, and then I was assuming that this is my H1 tag. Just start out the H1. Okay, alternatively, let me just do this. So I'll just so inside my div, so the whole of whatever I'm putting up here, whatever is up here, this comes away from. Thank you for taking the time. Yeah. So I'm actually going to put this up here, the H1. I'm just going to copy this. And same for the paragraph. So let me see, and let's see. So live. All right. So this is what we have. So we have a long way to go. All right. So check well, you see that we have another section here that contains our form. We're going to see how each of these can be gotten, and we'll try and create it. All right, so I am going to create another div here. Okay, so inside here now, you guys should take note of spacing, how I nest each item. So we have this section, and then you adjust it for the children to enter inside. So father, child. This is the father of this one. This now becomes a great grandfather. So I'm the grandfather and all of that. So let's just take note of all the small things. All right, so have this section now. So inside here now, I'm going to put my form. My form is inside here. So this action, I'm just going to leave it here. I'm not going to use this. So inside the form, you notice that we have when that submission is. All right. So notice we have this, we have name, we have email. So I'm actually going to do it step by step so that we'll actually see how to get each of them. I'm going to use divs to separate each of them. So from there we can actually get the bigger picture. All right. So here now, I'm going to do the first div. Okay. So like I said, you have a label. Yeah, this is a level because it helps you to know what you're supposed to do here. This requires you to put your name. So if this is not possible, you could actually see some forms where you don't have a name label, you just have maybe the placeholder. So what you're seeing inside here is called the placeholder. So you just substitute this it's an alternative for this so that someone just knows that okay, so I'm supposed to say my name here. And then you click on it, it actually just type out. All right, so it's just there so that you know what is going to happen. Now this level usually has a 4. Now this 4 has to be the same thing as whatever your ID is actually going to be. So I'm just going to, since we're starting out with name, I'm just going to put name here. Then inside here, I'm just going to put name, capital N and name. All right, so inside here, I'm just going to have my inputs. So we talked about inputs. So this is like the most used form that they have different. So it has an input has a type attributes. And then you have different types. So we have text, we have email, we have password, we have checkbox, and the likes. So these things, they're actually going to, they serve a particular purpose. So you won't use an email, a type of email where you just need just text. So each of them has their own function. That's why you need to note some of this stuff. All right, so okay, so inside here, so we have an image type of text. So let's just see what we have. It's actually going to look up. So this is what it looks like. So okay.
Sorry, please. The audio is not clear. It's breaking.
Okay, can you hear me better?
It's still not clear. It's still breaking.
How about now? Is it better?
So maybe you should continue along the way. I guess your network.
In a moment. Yeah, just give me a moment. So can you guys hear me now? Is it better?
Can.
Let's hope it doesn't get bad again. All right, so can you guys see both the the Chrome, the browser and the text editor? Let me set it.
Well, we can see the browser. And
You can,
yeah,
I can see it here. I can see it.
All right. Okay, so I'll just open it. Sharing my screen. Can you see my browser now?
Yes, only your brother is showing now.
All right. So yeah, this is what we have. So the name is actually on top. What do they call it? The input field is under. But what we have now, the name is beside the input field. So we want to work on that. Let's do this. So I'm going to use a break tag here. Okay. And let's see what we have now. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. So I'm actually going to do for the email, I'm just going to do everything out first before we now start adding some life to it. Okay, so the next one is the next one is, sorry for the glitches earlier. So I'm just going to get this, change this email. And this one, we have a type of email. So let's look at this again. We have email. Okay, I missed out putting this. So you have this. But let me just bring up this out first. So we now have the age bracket option now. So just do this. I'll just each. Let me increase my screen. So each, and I have the right. So this has a type of number. And let's confirm again. So let's see again. So we have what option best describes the rules. This is actually a select. The select is a kind of a drop down with some options where you have to select from those options. So let's see how we can get this out. All right, so I'm actually going to do it the same way. Just do a div, and then I'm going to add the label. So this is a keep this side, but so please can you guys see? I don't want to be going back.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, both of them, both screens are side by side.
Yes.
That's just all right. So inside here now. So we are options. We are current current rule. So this form I'm using here, you have to like make it. You have to pick something out of here that is unique or that stands out so that you can actually put it here. So for the first one I did so for this first one, I have a name label, and then I have this for its name here. Now, this other one, I have email here. So this one that is age should actually be age here. And then this other one, because they are talking about your current role. So I'm using current role here. Now, notice I did not give any space between. I kind of used a camel case. So camel case is you start out with this with small letters, write the first word. Then the next word that follows it, you use the capital letter. So that's a camel case. So I'm going to copy this. This time that I don't know why I copy and paste is not. All right. So we've done that. I'm also going to use a break tag. So after that, so you see, this is different from these other ones because it has a kind of drop down. So you get to see this options. But this other one is just a normal input field. So this is a select, and in select, this is how it goes. So choose a select. So this name and this ID, well, you could actually leave them for now. But basically, what should be here is so this one that has current row, you just add a current row. Okay. So okay. So yeah, I'll be scrolling up time to time. All right, so it's like here now. So the way you select boxes, you kind of need uh, options inside it from which you choose. So each of them will have an option tag. Now the value for this, so if I click here now, kind of see we have student, full-time job, and all of that. So the first one is going to be this select your current role. So that is the one, that's the first option because that's what's actually going to show up. So next. So let's just confirm again. So select. Okay. I'm still up. So I have students. This should actually be small c. All right, so we need more options. We have students. We have full-time job. I'm just going to duplicate this. Full-time job. Full-time learner. And prefer not to say. Those are like privacy. Then we also have one more. Okay. So let's leave this area is getting out all of this. So let's see what we have now. So I have name, I have email, I have age, and I have one option. And then you see this has kind of program where you get to see Okay, so we've gone a bit, we've gone up to some extent. So let's continue. So this div closes here. Yeah. So we need to do another div. And then inside the div, we're going to do a label again. This one says recommend. So we could just do recommend. Then I'm going to copy this. I want to try copying and pasting it. Yeah, sorry. Copy and paste. There's no issue. So So done that, we need to add a break tag. And then these ones, these are radio buttons. So radio buttons, yeah, is a type of input field. So we'll just do inputs. So it's okay, you're going to notice what I'll do now. So inputs type of radio. Right? And then now have definitely. Okay, so sorry. So I'm just going to duplicate this for each of them. So this should actually be a level. Sorry. It should just be text like this. So yeah, I've done that. So I'm just going to begin for maybe not sure. So maybe do this. Explain why. So sorry, guys. I don't understand my text editor today. Just acting up. Okay, so let's. So I need to adjust this. Sorry that everything is kind of slow. Then I'm too slow. That's All right, so this, let me just duplicate this for 50,000. So I'm going to change this to maybe change this to much small. So we have that out. We have that out of the way. Then we also have another select here. So I'm going to here's where I was doing this. So I'm just going to do the same thing that I did for the previous one. Sorry, I'm going to go back again. So I'm just going to do a div again, and then okay, we're not able to see the output. Sorry, but this is what it looks like. So I actually use this div because I want each of them to be on a separate line. So if I didn't do it that way, let me show you what happens. So I've removed that div here. So this is what happens. This guy and this guy join, they all join together. So the reason for putting that div was so that each of them will actually stay on their own line. That was why I actually did that. So I'm going to explain better in a bit. So let me just bring everything out. And I hope we don't get lost on the way. So inside this new div that I created now, I'm scrolling up. All right. So we have another label. So it's basically labels that this is a favorite feature. So inside here is the what's favorite. All right, so I have another breaker here. And inside here now we'll now do a select. So this favorite feature I'm just going to put it here. So whenever you're using an ID, ensure that the for label binds is the same name with this one, with this favorite feature, with this with the ID. So this and this should actually be the same. Inside here, I'm going to do my options again. So inside the option, the first one is select an option. Just going to do that select. So let's see what we have here. So we have challenges. Just duplicate this. This first one, challenges. Okay, the next one is projects and community. Sorry, I hope you guys can hear me better now.
Yes.
So open source is the last one. So it's so let's see what we have now. So this is challenges project. This is the way it comes out. That's what the select looks like. I'm just bringing everything out. Bringing. All right. So this other one now. So this is what a checkbox looks like. You get to select multiple options. You get to select multiple options from here. All right. So I will do the same thing. The div. So inside here now we have a header again. And inside the label we have what would you like to see. So this is improvements. So inside improvements, you just put the label here. So sorry, there's a lot of text editor choosing to and we have this. And you get to choose multiple options when you're using checkbox. So let's see how that works out. So there's actually supposed to be a breakdown. And so I'm going to do if it's so let's just do some obvious mistake. Okay. All right, so elements. This should be a checkbox. Okay. And then this should be a label. So this label should actually be front end projects. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this so that you see the obvious mistake. Let me see. Let's go here. So you see what's happening here now. Because I'm not using the div to push it on a different line. So each of them they are lining up. So this is more like an inline element kind of thing. So each of them they keep stacking, taking up enough space that they need, and all of that. So for me to fix that, I'm going to use a div. that name. So just quickly get through that. We have a lot of them here. So we can just get that out of the way. So we have like level. So and to do 9 more. Flexibility, I'll just do it. So just get the picture. So this is front end, this is back end. Have data visualization. Okay, now we have challenges. Source code. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. So I have one extra. So this is what we have. Yeah, so this is what we have so far. Then I think this is the okay, this is the last things. So I need to find where this the main div for this. Favorite feature. And here. So I need to do another div. Inside here now. So I have a label. And this one says comments or suggestions. So I'm just going to pick one comments. It should actually be a small c. And then inside here, I'm just going to write any comments. Suggestions. All right, so and now this field now it's different from a what did they call it? It's different from an input field. So because you get to put in more information inside here, so you kind of need something that can handle that can actually expand if the information is more. Something that can take more. You notice an input type A, an input with a type of text, it just takes a single field, you just type straight and then it keeps going. But this one gets to expand with time. So if I keep typing duration, just trying to explain something. So you get to see that a scroll bar kind of comes up, and then you're able to add more content into it. So this is actually different from an input field. So we're going to call this. This is actually a text area. So it's all right. So the last one I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do another div. So I'm going to is an input. This is a type of submit. So this serves as a submit button. And then this has a value. The value for this submit, for this input, the value, it has a value attribute. So the value attribute here takes in what you see here. So we will write submit now. Okay, so let's see what we have now. I didn't put a break tag here. That break tag is all right. My text editor decided to okay, so far I've been able to bring out almost everything on each. So from here now you can actually see what each form element does, or what you can use to achieve each of these. So I'm going to pause here. I believe we actually have questions. If you do have questions, just raise up your hand and ask. I actually did a whole lot of Radabra here. You're convinced. Okay. Yeah. So beloved. What?
Good morning. So please,
Yeah, good morning.
For the checkboxes where you're using D to make it be on a separate line, can we also use BL instead of D?
Instead of div.
Yeah, can we use
Yes,
BL?
but you can actually use BR. Yeah, BR actually moves it to a separate line. But I think there are some shortcomings with using BR. So it's actually, I think, just for styling purpose, you could actually have enough distance so that enough, I call it allowance, so that the BR does not affect your work. So BR, I think it doesn't push it enough the way a div will actually do it. Because with div now you can actually give some margin and paddings and all of that. But when you're using a BR, I don't think it allows you to do that properly.
Okay.
Actually check it out.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Yes. Do we have questions, or do we understand all the magic that was doing here? Do you understand? Okay. Okay. Victor, can I ask you a question? Victor, you can ask a question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. I'm trying to check back in.
You guys
I'm
hear
trying
me?
to check back what I'm doing when I get over to go live. Hello. Hello, hello, sir.
I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you.
Hello. Oh. You are hearing me? Okay. As I try to get back on what we are doing based on the step format from name to email, and when I try to check it live in my own interface, it doesn't give me room for the email to step down. I don't know what is going wrong.
I don't know if you
Are you with me?
can you hear me? Yes. Yes. So my reason for using divs here, I don't know if you can, yeah. So if you
Okay.
use a div
Okay, I
actually
can see it now.
it's
Is a div that
you
will
like,
give the separation
yes.
between.
So a div actually
Okay.
the name and the email. Yes, that's my
Okay.
own. That's the whole point of using divs. Yes. So I believe we understand that. So someone else have that question. Who are Tobila? Nobody. Do you have another question? Sincere apologies for how the class is actually going. Okay, so anyways, I really need us to get to understand what is happening here. All right. So this is what we have. This is our home. Yeah, this is the home. So we actually want, sorry. Yes, Mubarak, can ask you this. Okay.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Sorry, sir. Sir, I think my question is on this test area. I'm trying to understand. It's not so clear to me. What's the use case for this test area part?
The text there.
Yeah. It
So
doesn't
like I
mean that.
was,
Okay, sorry.
okay, so I was saying, all right. So if you've noticed, the other ones that we've been doing, we'll be using inbuilt type of checkbox or whichever type. Now, we actually want a section because when you want to put out comments, you can have someone pour out his whole heart, like I say, about your system. Yeah. So you want an option where somebody can put in a lot of words. So when you want to do something of that sort, what should come in mind is a text area because it allows you to put in a lot of words and then you can actually scroll through. But an input, you basically just need to do things that are direct, one-liners or things that can just, yeah, basically one-liners. But in a text area, you get to put in more stuff. Okay, so I tried using your system and then I had this issue, I had that issue, and all of that. So all this story or comments
Brother, please don't run
need
out.
something that can actually handle it.
Brother, shift.
That's what that's what that is used for. You understand now?
So I'm trying to understand, but the next question I think I have is, does it mean that there is no limit to the number of words? Because so some people might decide to type have a litany of words there. Does it mean that is there no way you can actually limit what the
Yeah, you can
user
actually do
gets
that.
to input there? Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
you can actually limit that. You can limit that. You can do that with JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
Then we also have these attributes. We have maximum length, minimum length, that kind of stuff. So with this now, you could actually just say 300. Yeah, so it actually checks the amount of characters. If it's more, it just it doesn't let you write beyond that. So there are actually attributes that can help you out. If you look more into this, you actually see more about it. So do you understand that?
Yeah, yes, sir. So this column 30 and rows 10, what's the work? Is it up to the size?
Yes, you can use that to size it.
Okay.
This is what is giving it. If I reduce this now, so let's just play around with it. So, so let me just say row 5. This is smaller. So it's basically for sizing. And this column 30, I will just remove this. So sometimes what you just need is how wide, how long it should be. For the column, let me just so you might say maybe 300. Have a long, yeah, so it's long. So it's just those things are just for size. How long do you want it to be, or how wide do you want it to be? So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I can see that you have okay. I'm seeing. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. Go at Global. Oh,
All right, it's not a question. I just don't know. Can
okay.
I get a screenshot of all these codes? Can you just help us and screenshot it and send it back?
The code.
Yeah, the form. You can get a screenshot.
All right, no problem. I'll actually, yeah, I'll either put it on open if we really need to access. Yeah, I'll put it on open and then send it to you guys. I think that will help us better.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So yeah, it saves square.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
When filling forms like this online, I think when I was even filling my CodeCamp form, they were suggesting my name, my name, and some details, and I really appreciated it. I like such websites. So I want to find out: is it the work of a web developer, or is it just an advantage of signing in with Google or Gmail or something?
Okay, so there are options like if you want to use Google to register, so you could actually fix that. You could actually configure that. So you need to use, I think, their API, something of that sort. You need to tie it with that so that it works well. But for suggestions, I like, okay, maybe just explain what kind of suggestion was it bringing up?
Okay, for example, in the field for name, first name, once I type F, sorry, they bring out first for me. As if they got my information from somewhere,
Okay.
email or something.
Okay, that's sorry, please let me say something. Can I continue?
Yeah, who is that? Who is that actually? You can speak up, Chef. Who is that? Yeah, who wanted to speak? You could actually speak.
Hi, okay. You know, when you register with a browser and your Google account is connected to that browser, your Google account saves your details like your name, your date of birth, your email, your password, and the rest. So when you want to register to some other websites, probably fill in the form, it gives you a suggestion. Probably you click on the name, it brings the name that's already saved on the Google account on the browser. So that's the question is asking if is that the work of the developer or is just something in general that Google does because of the browser.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Google actually stores those passwords and then it brings it up when we want to register. Yes, so you actually suggest it. So then you could actually turn it off at some point. Yeah, if you do not need it. There are attributes that actually handle that. So I don't know, a safe square, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. I actually thought there was maybe an attribute or something that would suggest the name, but I just found out it's from Google or Gmail account.
So uh I who see yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm not good with pronouncing it. Oluwabusi, yeah. Okay, Tijani, please can go on, ask your question.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning.
And the info that
Hello.
we put, can you hear me? Sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, go on.
If we put all the
Hello, can you
info
hear me?
into that text area or something, where and we click on submit, where did the info goes to? In case we create a site for ourselves and they fill the form, where do we see the info that they insert in?
So it actually depends on how you're storing stuff. So normally, you'll work with the back end. So if you're a front end developer and you have a back end, you're going to work with APIs, and then there are APIs for registration, for login, and all of that the backend developer has created. Now, when you actually when you connect it properly, so if a user actually signs up, this information is stored on the database. So there's a server or a backend that actually has all this person's information. So you're able to see them from that server. So there's an there might also be an endpoint for you to see all the users and all. So that's how admins. So if you're an admin for a website, you have access to all of this because it's not it's not actually right for somebody, a random person, to have access to this information. So if the information that you get is actually stored on a server. So there are other means of storing it. Maybe, okay, you could actually connect it. Well, I wanted to say you could actually connect it to a Google phone and all of that, but for actual, when you actually do a program, a web page, yeah, when you do a web page, you actually tie it to the back. So those information, they are stored on the back, and then that's where you have access to it. Does that answer your question, Tijani?
Yes, it does. But I don't know if we can work on that later. Maybe if you can show us how it goes later
Well,
when you get them.
well, what happens is that, okay, we still have a very long journey. You have to enter JavaScript before you start. handling those. So first of all, you need to know how to create web pages first before you get to that point. So
Yes, sir. Okay.
don't stress your head.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so Oluwabusi, yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Can you speak up? We have a long way to go. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Please, I just want to ask
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, I just want to ask about the importance of the form action declaration in that form. The importance of the form action.
Okay, the form action.
You understand the question?
This one.
Yes.
Yeah, so this form action, it actually takes you to a page where the information will be processed or something will show up. So that's what this does. For most people, they don't actually use it. So it's either you just use the form without it, just have maybe a success, maybe a modal that's a pop-up or a page that this will actually go to. So format when people were using PHP and all of that, so they actually use this action to go to a different page, maybe so that they will see the details, so that they will do this or some other thing. So this may be important, but it's answer your question. Okay, so yeah, Victor. Okay, please, I'll just go on. Thank you. Okay, so sorry, this class is one of the three. Okay, so now looking at this form now, you notice that we have a background image. Then we have this text that is white. And we also have this background kind of glass, kind of transparent colored this background. And then the text here is also white. So we're actually going to sign, to create all of this. We're actually going to link our CSS and then continue from there. So yes. So that's glass morphism. All right. Okay. So let's just go on. So the way you actually link your CSS. So let me pick up this. So this time around, we are not going to use internal or our CSS and then how to work on from there. So let's just pay attention to this point and then that will not be the same again. Style.css. Okay. So I've created a file inside my CSS. I'm calling it style.css. Now I need to link that file inside my head here. So I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to say link. I need the one for CSS. Now, notice this. It has this relative which says that it's a style sheet. And then there's this hypertext reference, which is supposed to point to a style of CSS. So A couple of people like to keep their, or there are people that like to keep their style.css outside, but I like to keep things groups. I like to separate concerns. So that's why I'm going to put a, so if I close this out, now we have CSS, we have IMG, we have JS. So all of this, they have the same line. So I will actually put my CSS here and then do a slash. So if I hold my control and then I press I click on it, it should actually take me to this point. So if it does not do that, then you know that you've not linked it properly. So I'm coming back to this. Hold control and then you click on this. So it should actually show you this. Control plus click actually give you that. Okay. I'm seeing a hand raised here. Yeah, Clinton, what's your question?
Okay, my question is regarding those forms. I don't, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Regarding what?
Okay, regarding the form section.
Okay.
Okay, so I was asking, how can we create, like, you use the break tag to create like a separation between those two, like the input and the label and stuff like that. But how will you be able to create like a padding or to style them without using any class? Because we didn't put any, or are we going to do it on a later day or later class?
That's what we are. That's why I'm doing the style.css now. That's why I'm fully.
It's okay. So that we want to start it. That means we will now start putting it back in the HTML.
So I needed to bring everything, trying to beautify it. So it's all right. Hope you get it now.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so back to this. So I have actually linked this up. So confirm that your link is actually there. It's linked properly. So first thing I want to do is, okay, so let me try and I want to center everything here. So we're going to use classes, we are going to use IDs, and then we're going to see how all of this tie down. So in the last class, we looked at classes, we looked at IDs, and you know why you want to use a class, why you want to use an ID. So we're going to actually touch each and every one of them today. So for this section now, let's just okay, so I'm going to give this a class. Let me just change it to an ID since it's like the only thing I want here. So I'm going to call it header. Or I'll just call it page header. I don't know how to spell. Okay, page header. So inside the page header, I'm just going to call this. So when you're using an ID, you need to use a count. You need to use an hash. So I'm going to call page header. So inside here now, so you see the way it's actually coming out. So you have the selector. So because it's an ID, so this is page header, and then I'm using this hash sign. So inside here now, I want to do a text align of center. So let's just see. So this is, so the whole, everything here, this whole text, I want it to be in the center of page. Let's see if that is what it will give us. So this is it. All right. Then we also have, notice we have this section which contains our form and is actually in the center. So let's look at our HTML again. So this is our form. And our form has a div. So this div. Now this div, I'm actually going to do I'm going to give it an ID. So I'm going to say form container. So you see the way I'm naming it. I'm naming it with respect to what that particular section is for. What is it doing? That's what will actually help us. So this is my form container. So I'm going to call that so hash and form container. Okay, so in my form container, I'm going to give a width. So the way I normally like to do it. So let's just look at this now. Okay, so sorry. This is it. Now you notice that this is a way. So this section, this side that they use last morphism for is away from this. So you have it away from the edges. So you have it away from the edges and it's in the center of the page. Now this has a particular width. So say for instance, your screen is like 100%. So this could be like maybe trying to guess here, maybe 60%, 20% for the extra space, 20. So you actually need to divide it that way. Now, my reason for using percentage, so there are people that could actually say, why don't you use pixels? So if you use pixel here, and then you go on your mobile phone, now that pixel size might actually, if I use percentage, so the percentage is with respect to that screen size. So now that means if I'm doing 60% on a laptop, on a phone, it's also going to take like 60% on a phone. So you could actually want to modify that because it's actually going to look smaller on a mobile device. So it's something to actually think about, and we will learn about it in subsequent classes. But for now, we need to get this to look how it is supposed to be. All right. Right. So I call this 60%. I'm going to do a width of 60%. And then I want, okay, so let's just see. Let me just put a border so that we know what is happening. So a border, 1 pixels. So it's very interesting. All right, so let's come here. So something like 60% is even big. Let me just do 50%. All right. This is 50%. But now you notice that the width, or because of what we did for the width, it's now as if it's in one side. Now as if it's staying on one edge. So we actually need to make it to be in the center. Okay. So So I'll do a margin of 0 or 2. Now, so what happens is, let me explain this. So you don't want any space at the top and at the bottom. What you want is you don't want any adjustment, but you want an auto on both ends because you want to balance each side out. You want a space here and a space at this point. So that's why you're using auto. So left and right should automatically resize to fit this in the center and give some space here. So that's what happens. Okay, so I think it's about time. So I need to get this background. I need to get this background and also this background. So let's see. So I'm actually going to inspect from their own because I do not have this image here. So let's just look at this. Okay, so they have this image here. I'm actually going to open it. Okay, so this is what when you inspect. So for them, they used on the body, they actually did this whole this, but I need this image. So I'm actually checking the background image here. And then I'm seeing it has a CDN and a free CodeCamp link pointing to an image. So this is the image I actually need. So I'm actually going to open this. I'm going to save image as. So this is 2.0. This is CodeCamp form. So I want to save it inside my image folder. So saving it there. So I have that image now. So the other thing I want to look out for is, okay, let me just put the image first. So back here now, for them, they use their body, but I did this section, because I don't want to temper with the body. So it could actually be a choice. You could actually use the body and then add your background image, but I'm using this section. So this section now, I'm going to give it an idea of page body. So depends on you. Alternatively, I could have done that on the body. So I'm going to load the videos. So it's an ID, so I'm using a pound page. So notice that I am not repeating classes. I'm not repeating IDs. So each of them, they have their use cases. They have where I am using them. So for this page body now, I want to add a background. And for you to add a background, you either use background, you use background. So I'm just going to use background because I will add some other stuff. So background. And inside the background, I'm going to play URL. Now this URL, you need to come out of this style.css. So the way we actually nested this thing, so we have this style.css inside this folder. Now for you to come out of this folder, you need to come out from the folder and then enter the images. So you need to do double dots. So dots slash. So to enter inside here now, we now have to add the ing and then a slash again, and then the survey background. Yeah, so survey form background. I save, let's see what we have.
You have not ended with the semicolon.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I see the main problem. Yes, sir. The background didn't come out. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so we have this now. Now, we have a bit of a problem here. We check this now, you notice that they don't have white spaces at the end. Sorry. Yeah, so they don't have white spaces here. And they have this kind of background. But look at our own, we have spaces here around it. So how do we? Yes. Okay, now I actually saw that. So how do we do that? So you need to do a reset for your page. Now, when I say a reset, I mean you need to remove all the paddings and margins. So padding, you need a padding of 0. So I'm using asterisks here because asterisks is like get all the elements on my page, all of them. Both the divs, the inputs, all of them, just get all of them. And then I want to remove all the paddings and the margins. So I'm going to say padding 0 and margin 0. Okay, then another thing you could add here is box sizing. So let's see. So you see now we've removed everything here. Now we have a bit of an issue where this just contains. So if you see now our background is kind of jumpy. So we have white space at the bottom here because we didn't set a height that the background image will occupy. So what I would like to do is coming back to that, maybe some people didn't understand what I did there. So for this background, so the reason for this box size is it kind of divides your screen into rows and columns. Though you don't kind of see it, but it allows you to be able to put in width and height properties and others. But you don't really see it. So it does some work behind the scene for you. You might not actually see this. Okay, so I need to, for my page body now, I need to give a minimum height actually of 100 VH. Now 100 VH is your screen size. So if you're on a laptop device, the available space that you can see is 100 VH. If you're on a phone, the available space you can see is 100 VH. So my reason for not using using a minimum height is this form. When we style this form, it could actually be longer than this. So if I just say, if I just say height of 100 VH. Now, if this form is longer, sorry about the noise. So if this form is longer, we would have issues because this will now overflow. This will now come out of the home box. So let's just so the content of this form will actually come out. It will spill out of this 100 VH. So that's why I use the minimum height so that it knows that okay, it can be 100. It starts from 100 VH, but it can be more than that. So that's what it does. So another thing I'm just going to talk about is okay, why do I have these dots here? So the problem is I am nesting this. Here it stands for view height. So I am nesting this. So inside my CSS folder, I have this style.css. Now this style.css is inside this folder. And for me to access anything inside my image folder, I need to come out of the folder. Now the way to come out of the folder is using these two dots. You need to do two dots. Come out of this folder, two dots to come out of it. And then you do a slash. Then this is the img folder, and then a slash again will now give you the particular image that you want. But if you have another folder inside, you need to do a slash, the name of that folder, slash that image. That's if you're working on a very large project. That's okay. So this is minimum height. So this image. So from the way I got these images, let me just explain this again. So I did an inspect. Yeah. So this I had to inspect. So when you inspect, it actually shows you this section. Now, if I check the body, I see that there is no the image is not there. We have this before. Now this before, like it places something before the body tag element. So now inside here, now if I hover, you see now we have this background image. Now this background image has a URL here. Now this URL, for me to get this, I have to come to this current source. This current source has the link. So it's an absolute URL pointing to KodeCamp's where they have this image here. So I need to hold Control and then click on this, and then it opens up in another browser, and then I right click and then save. Yeah. So that's a way. That's how I got this image. So something else I want to explain here is I need this purple background. Now I'm going to use their own. Could actually learn this, or you could actually there are sites that actually generates what I'm about to do now. So I'm copying this. I'm just copying. I actually copy this. talking became difficult for me. That's a story. All right, so thanks to God, they actually did. So my reason for using background is because I wanted to combine a couple of things here. So I'm going to put a comma here. So background allows you to add background color and an image. So you can actually add both of them. But when you're more like background image, you're going specifically to add an image. If you say background color, you just want to add a background color. Okay. So that's what I actually thought it was, but I see that you can actually combine both of them inside it. Okay, so let me explain. So using background image, I just confirmed now. I think you can actually, if you're using a background image, you can actually combine a color and URL. I used to think that background is basically it's where you can combine both. I'm seeing that you can actually do that for the background when you're using background image here. So I'm combining a color and then an image. Yes, an image. Now, there's a way the color actually, their color is, it has a kind of sorry, give me a moment. So if you check here now, you notice that it's kind of transparent. It's not covering what is here, what is behind it. So it's the way linear gradient allows you to actually add colors, multiple colors coming from a particular angle and then spreading out. So if you check what they did here, they said linear gradient 415 degrees, and then put this color. We talked about RGBA. Yeah. So red, green, blue, and then alpha. That's kind of opacity. So this color and then this color. So from 115 degrees, just spread out that color. So that was that was how they achieved their color. But now, since they're adding an image, they had to add a comma at the end of this and then the image there. So it's a combination of a color and an image. Then this color actually stays on top of the image. So it gives you this light background that you're seeing here. Check mine now. We have this background, but then you'll notice that this guy behind here and the way this guy is, they are not the same. Let me just close this. So you can see more of these people and what you're seeing here. Because I see this is the center of excellence and this the most important person here. So for me to fix that, I'll actually do a background size of cover, background repeats. Okay, let me do a background position. A background position of center. So I want it to be in the center, and then a background repeat of no repeats. Yeah. So I don't want it to repeat. So I'm just going to go over it again. So, all right. So what I was trying to do is I want a color for the background. I need a color and then an image. So that was why I use linear gradients. We also have radial gradients. Radial gradients looks like a circle. You could actually look it up on the W3 school. It looks like a circle. Then this linear only goes in a linear form. So from left to right or from right to left, depending on how you specify it and all. So, but this one is saying move 115 degrees and then put this color, start with this color, then move over to this color. When you're done with the color, add the image behind it. So this linear gradient is kind of transparent. So that's why you can actually see some part of the image there. Then because the image was too big and too bold, I wanted the size to cover the whole page. So that was why I did background size for comma. And then I did a background position of center because I want it to be centered. And then I did a background repeat of no repeat. I believe that has brought us up to speed. Okay, so let me just continue. Even the main forms that never touch them. Okay. All right, so we have this set out for us. Now we need to style out this this inner, the inner box. So I'm actually going to pick their color again. Yes. They're trying to get what they need. This color. I'm actually going to all right. So this color, there's a way they actually put it. So I'm actually just going to use their values. This is 27, 27, 50, 0.8. So this is our form container. I want to give it a background. So you just use a background color. And then I'm going to use RGBA. Because if you check their own value, we check what they did here. So this is their column. So by clicking on this, now look at, they have variables. So it's possible to use variables in HTML and CSS. So you kind of store colors inside with variables. So it's like a container. So that anytime you just want to use this color, you kind of call the color name like this, and then it works out. But since we're just starting out, this is a deeper concept. So we don't want to go into that yet. So I'm going to get this. So red here is 27, green is 27, blue is 50. That's what I'm going to do here. 27, and 50. Then the opacity is what? 0.8. So let's see what we have. So yeah, this is what we have now. Now, how do we achieve in the chat? Can somebody tell me how? I need some space around my box. Everything is touching the edge. What do I do?
I think we should give the container a padding. The container of that form.
Okay, so people are saying margin, people are saying padding. So remember what said, if this is your container, the container you're considering, margin affects inside. I mean, padding affects inside. Margin affects the external parts. So we want to give this a padding. I'm just going to give this a padding. A padding of maybe 30 pixels. Yeah. So this is it. This is a space. So it's not touching the edge again. So I gave one single value. So that means my top, my right, my bottom, everything is, everything is covered now. So I still have, if you check their own now, you see they have this space here and they have this space here. So we actually need some space between this, between here, the top and the bottom. So the way I will do that, I will go to, remember I gave page heading. Looking at this now, this is my page header. So page header has this, yes. So it has this, and then it has padding. It has a heading and it has a paragraph. So I want to give this page header margin so that it actually pushes then it actually pushes the bottom. So I'll do margin. So I'm just going to do maybe 100 pixels. So remember, it is top right of 0, top right, bottom of maybe, let's say 60 pixels. You need to just do some calculation in your head. Just looking at this. Oh, so we have a problem. So the reason margin can actually be very funny. So you have this situation where if you add a margin, instead of pushing out the content, it actually pushes the entire screen. So in cases like this, what I will do is I just use a padding instead. So you see, it looks like this piece is too much. So I'll just do just do 70 pixels. Okay. So we can actually make do with this. So we have this now. So the next thing I want to do is, remember that the color of the text is white. So I want to give a color of white the entire page, since almost everything is white. So either I use text of white or I just use this text. Either I use white like this, or I could just use hexadecimal colors, something like ash. It's usually 6. It can also be 3. So this ash FFF is actually a column. It's a hexadecimal column. So we also have RGBA and stuff like that. So this is the code. So this, yes, so this is what we have. So So there's a whole lot of work to actually do. So let's see. We have this section is called. So we want to give this a particular code, and that is form container. So border radius. So you use border radius to give a curve around it, maybe 20 pixels. There's plenty. Like it's still called. All right. So I need to remove this border because we don't need it now. Time is almost up. Okay, guys. Next class that we have is on Monday. Does anybody have a question? Points. Time is almost up. So I'm actually I'll send us a link to this page so that we know what we've done so far. And we could actually just okay. Toby Lover.
So please, I just want to say, shouldn't forget about the screenshots.
Okay. Yeah, I'll actually do that. I'll send the CodeCamp link and stuff so that you actually see what. I'll send it to everybody. I'll send on this number. So sincere apologies for the way the class actually started out. Save Square actually. Yeah, Save Square.
Okay, mine is for the colors, like this hashtag FFF used. Is there a website where we can see a list of them and the particular shade of color that we can get from those hexadecimal figures?
Okay. So, yeah, color is something that you actually don't need to. Well, there are some common ones which you can have at the back of your hand, but there are different ways of getting it. So I think I've showed us this before. I could actually just hover on this, and then if I just move over to any point, I can actually get any color that I want. If I want a green and all of that. So it just depends on how you want to achieve that. So most times a designer gives you the colors that you need. So you just use what the person used. And then you don't have to go through all of it. So we'll actually see in subsequent classes when we work on stuff, we'll actually see how this works. So if that is that. So sincere apologies for how today's class actually went. So for the subsequent class, we'll actually style out. We'll finish the styling for this form. Then we'll now move over to other beautiful things. Very nice having all of us to talk more on Slack. So if you have questions, if you have issues, just reach out on Slack. And I'll be available to. Thank you so much for attending the class.